to the Millionaire Mastermind lecture on spiritual entrepreneurship. Spiritual entrepreneurship is focused on entrepreneurship not just for the sake of money or making money or resources just for competitive commercial purposes or acquiring resources for competitive retail purposes. Spiritual entrepreneurship is the focus of acquiring resources through entrepreneurship in order to invest in social structures, social organizations that are designed to further assist the development of humanity and positive growth, to eliminate poverty, to bring an economic equality to all of existence. Now, spiritual entrepreneurship is also focused on utilizing one's intelligence in such a manner that always benefit others. The primitive approach to economics is the zero-sum game approach. However, with spiritual entrepreneurship, everyone wins all the time because intelligence is your guiding factor. The mastery of the mind and intelligence is what you depend on as an entrepreneur, and not just raw emotions and greed. You depend on spiritual meditation to guide you in regards to your business decisions, and you always consider the betterment of mankind and humanity. Spiritual entrepreneurship is the evolution of human participation in economics, where money is not master, but mind is master, and humanity is the primary focus. The only reason why there is poverty that exists in the world and the income inequality that exists and the distinction of poor countries and wealthy countries is because of the primitive mind frames that humans are still embracing. The potential of the mind, the potential of brain power that humans have, the only reason why the world is riddled with these problems is because humans have not embraced the full potential of their intelligence. The mind is designed to resolve all problems. So when humans evolve, war, poverty, of course, will be non-existent. This isn't just utopian philosophy. This is based on a clear understanding of the power of the mind and how once the mind is focused and humans are knowledgeable enough to use the mind to its fullest potential, then instead of relying on emotion, nationalism, and other primitive processes, they will rely on pure mind power to resolve problems. And this is where the entrepreneur comes in, as economics is the core mode of participation in regards to community life, city life, and the social structure of a nation, whether primitive, modern, or poor or wealthy. Then the spiritual entrepreneur, see this as a perfect opportunity to inject spirituality into a mode of action that will benefit everyone by starting businesses to use the resources to apply that money that is acquired from these entrepreneur endeavors to use this money to help society make progress. Of course, I'm also creating businesses that basically assist those who do not have a fair chance to basically raise their standards of living. A spiritual entrepreneur is also a philanthropist, investing always in social causes and integrating them into business structures. And this is the first stage of spiritual entrepreneurship. Spiritual entrepreneurship, in its first stage, is primarily focused on the human as not just a physical being, but as a spiritual being, not just mortal, but also immortal. and also as pure mind, not just as a physical form. The spiritual entrepreneur understands that mind is ultimate, that distinctions like white, black, French, Indian is not only primitive but illusions, because the ultimate core of the being, which we call humans, is mind. And if one taps into that mind, then one's potentials becomes unlimited. One must learn not to restrict themselves by these primitive concepts. The spiritual entrepreneur is for forward thinking. The spiritual entrepreneur understands that they are a mind first, that they are intelligent beings. And an intelligent being has a duty and responsibility to help other humans. And what better way to do that through economics? This is the first part of the lecture on spiritual entrepreneurship. As a spiritual entrepreneur, the primary focus in optimizing mind power is always thinking positive. Do not waste time with negative thinking. Do not waste time with complaining. Just look into finding ways to find solutions. And always start out with the premises that it can be done. It can and will be done. Starting from the perspective of a spiritual mind. Now, when I say spiritual, I do not mean a philosophical conceptualization of spiritual. I mean a practical implementation of intellectual processes that are linked to a clear understanding of being one with the universe and being one with humanity, and making decisions that affect the nature of existence. Spiritual entrepreneur is focused on making the world a better place. This is the goal of a spiritual entrepreneur.